All right. Now I got the microphone near me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Phew. What can I say? What an interesting 24 hours it's been. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Um, oh gosh, who was that? Washington. Um, oh gosh, what was her name? Something Washington. Not Sarah Washington. Not Della. Dinah. That's it. Dinah Washington. Okay. Um, I'll say hi to everybody as I go along. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. First, Lorna Williams, Lee, Judy Matassid, and everybody else. Golfing Mom, um, Karen Williams, Lydia Washington, C Mac. Okay, I just said I wasn't going to do that, didn't I? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Can I make that work? I bet I can. There we go. um, yeah, that works. All right. Let me see. Well, I was over at my dad's house, and I was going through, and my God, there was the Royal Sussex and the Sussex squad. I don't know why I was going through my dad's house. Anybody remember who that is? Well, I was over at my dad's house, and I was going through, and I can't really tell you why I was going through someone else's house. But I was going through somebody else's house. Don't everybody do that? Um oh, Lady T, I know who you mean. Yes, and Gina Suchi. Yeah, you all got it right. Yes, TM Jr. Wow. I was over at my dad's house and I was going through. Now, was he going through the house? Was he going through something? And how often is it do you go over to someone else's house, even if you're your dad, and you just start going through? I mean, that's the weirdest thing I've heard since what's her name was trying to go get a pop, and she smelled a barbecue sweet brown. Yeah, I think that's what they call her, sweet brown. Well, anyway, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Mm, well, you know what? With the passage of time, I feel a greater sense of clarity. Oh, well, this is interesting. Oh, got to save that one. Yes, why? Okay, let me add one more thing to my slide that gives it a little more panache. And I don't even know what panache means, but I want to add that to my slide for today. Why did that happen? Hmm. Okay, I don't need that. Yeah, see, this is why it's not good to look because then you can never ever have enough stuff. But why did they? Okay, I'll tell you that in a minute. Mhm. But I tell you what, I was right about something, and that something is the oh gosh, what was it? I was right about the TMZ. The TMZ. Um It was something about the TMZ that was triggering to the institution, to the firm. There was something about it that triggered them, and they had to try to pull in the reins and get control over everything. That's what I believe. It was something about that TMZ that triggered them. And then next thing you know, Kate is sitting on a bench. Why does that sound familiar to me? A bench, the bench. What is so familiar to me about a bench? I don't get it. Uh, okay, yeah, I am stalling a bit. Give me a second, you guys. Give me a second. Um, I am being contrary. Okay. I know you waited so long, and I'm here. I just want to put a finishing touch or two. Okay, just for the flavor. Just for the flavor. And I promise you, I am ready. I don't even know how to love you, but I'm ready to learn. Yes, I'm ready to learn to fall in love. Yes, to fall in love. Everybody, to fall in love right now. I don't even know how, but I am ready. The slides are coming right now. So no more of my bad singing. Are what's computer generated? My voice or Ah, you know what, guys? I am going to talk about that. I am so, yesterday. Let's just admit, yesterday there was a bit of a feeling of exhaustion amongst the Sussex squad because of things, because of things that seem so far out of control that I was worried that the palace was regaining the narrative that they had lost. But because of the lies that they've told, I don't think they're ever going to be in such a strong position again. Um, okay, there we go. I did that little artwork myself, kind of. There is Her Serene Royal Highness Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Princess Meghan, and that Wales chick. Yes. Okay. Not that, in the eyes of God, we are equal through and through, but in the eyes of karma and that antiquated, old, aging relic of an institution, not so much. Hi, BS Speaks Royally. Okay. Now, where was I? Yeah. Okay. I can go to the next slide. Ready. There we go. Now, I could not help but notice this. I could not help but notice. Now, listen, you all. They deliberately, they deliberately created this very Renaissance Christ-like pose for Kate. Okay. I kept looking at the mermaid hair, and I was looking at the way she was centered in the screening, and I kept thinking, Lord, Jesus. And I kept thinking, Renaissance Jesus, right? And if you Google Renaissance Jesus, as I did, that's exactly what came up. That very Western version of Christ with the wavy hair. And I'm sure because she's 42 years old and you know, barreling toward menopause. The beard is not there yet, but you just need only wait for that. The beard is coming. Speaking of beards, where's William? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a virtual beard. I mean, because after all, somehow I do believe there is a beard involved. And while I can't really expand upon it in mixed company, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. So also, there's that award for restaurants, which is the prestigious James Beard Award. But for the purposes of this conversation, it does not apply. It is not exactly applicable. So let me continue before I get in trouble. Uh, yeah, but Jan Martin, that's not the beard that I'm talking about. The beard that I'm talking about is the weird beard. Um, I guess you could say that which is a great act of kindness and charity to someone who has lost their way or has never found their way or has a hunger and a aching need for a, well, you know what comes next, right? Wait for it. Wait for it. A pulled pork sandwich. uh, so anyway, that is what they were trying to do. They were using a bit of symbolism to come up with this very Christ-like pose. Um, and think about it, you all. Now, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but we all know what happened to Christ. Christ was crucified. And so I believe in this particular setting with the halo like light around her head, that this is obviously a chance for her to appear as though she has been crucified by the social media. And that, oh, let me see. Yeah. Now, where are the other people? Because there's supposed to be a couple of thieves, right? There's a couple of thieves. Okay. Well, let me see. Is there anyone that would be the I'm sure there's a couple of other members, senior members of the royal family that they could cast as thieves, but um one of them live in one household and the other one lives in another household, but they're all over there. Don't get me wrong, they're all over there. So, do you guys see the symbolism that I'm pointing out? There's a halo that glows. There is the very somber scene. There is redemption. There's all those things. Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing that's missing, and this is why some people should know that this is not exactly what it appears to be, is because we all know that Kate tends to list like the Andrea Doria just before it sank. Her head tends to list starboard. And and here it's not really starboard, it's actually slightly to port. But yeah, you see what I mean? Where is that starboard listing that we are so oh, thank you, B10 pal. Well, you see, B10, I keep trying to tell people I'm not just a pretty face. I mean, I do study this and that, and I'm not just from here and there. Well, then again, I ain't really from no place in particular, but you know what I mean. But thank you. Let's see. And I forgot how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I think it's pronounced with a G sound. Oh, someone showed me how to say it phonetically. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Let me see. What surprised me is the reflection of the stripes on the bench. Oh, yes. I see it. It's not like the bench is super shiny. It does not make sense. It is not high gloss. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Wait a minute. Let me see. I think I can do this. Oh, let me see. It's a J sound, right? I'm so sorry. I forget how to say it. Oh, somebody rescue me. How do you pronounce it? I'm waiting. But okay, I won't hmm, okay. Who was that saved me last time? uh nobody? Nobody? Okay. Okay. Um Aya. Wait a minute. Okay. Marjorie Austin, you got it there. Um although, let me see. It's not Leia. Aya. No. Aya. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. No, that's not how you say it. Aya. I think it's Aya. It's Aya. Paella. That's my favorite dish from Spain. And Aya is one of my favorite squatties. So there you go. Anyway, well, it's been a while. It's been a while. Okay. Anyway, Black Queen says, Baron, please show Megan's pic with the same background, similar bench. It's a copy. Place them side by side. Uh, let me see. Place them side by side. However in the world would I do that? Pray tell. You mean like this? I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. I promise. But thank you so much for the super chat. That is coming up. And look at there. We're always so in sync. I love that. So also, Kate has done this before. I mean, take a look here. Notice how they tried to position Kate in this Last Supper like pose. Trust me when I say this. This is all well orchestrated. It's so contrived, the entire situation. See how she even has her head um listing to starboard, whereas Jesus is kind of to port. But again, it's the same thing. And the other person who does this a lot is Donald J. Trump. And William pulled that same crap when he went to New York that time, when he went into the inner sanctum of the firehouse, the same firehouse that Harry visited years before. Well, as you can see, as you can see, they are trying to use classical Renaissance religious references to try to elevate Kate's status into something that's, for lack of a better word, Christ like. And yeah, it's just not working for me. I'm just not that into this symbolism. But that's exactly what's happening here. It's as though she's elevated on a throne or some diocese or something like that. But the truth is, that is Kate Middleton from Buckleberry or Huckleberry Finn or wherever she's from, not Christ. See what I mean? There you go. I've noticed this before, though. I have noticed this before. Is that they would use these Christ like settings and certain backdrops. Notice that Just as Christ is in front of the three windows, you have Kate in front of the two picture frames and the door, which puts her in the center and focus of the frame. See what I mean? You really have to keep an eye on these people because if you don't point it out, they will try to get away with it. So let's go back for a second. You see there? Hallelujah! 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 AI, 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 AI. Oh, anyway, I'm just pointing it out. All right, let me continue. I'm going to take a look at a couple of your comments and then we'll move on. Okay. Oh, Olivia Johnson, Baron, the two people who was concerned about Prince Archie's skin color is the same two people diagnosed with cancer. Thank you, Olivia Johnson. But actually, I did point that out actually on two occasions and just this week. Isn't it ironic and interesting? I believe I said it yesterday. And actually, I did two. Did I do? Yeah, I did two yesterday. And as I did my recap, that's what I said is that the two people in Owen Scobie's book that were accused of being the racists are the same two people that wound up in the same hospital on the same, well, week. And of course, they, the only person to visit Kate that we are sure of was Charles, right? And then, of course, they told us, don't worry about it. Charles doesn't have cancer. Kate doesn't have cancer. And what happens? First, Charles has cancer. Now, Kate has cancer. And you know what else they have in common, Olivia Johnson? They won't tell us what kind of cancer it is, as though it is some type of ploy to make sure that they get the maximum amount of sympathy. I mean, if they're going to go through the trouble, you may as well get the complete amount of sympathy that you were asking for. So, yeah, that's what I think is that they want to make sure that they get the maximum. It's a lot of symbolism. So, there you go. Um, okay, thank you very much again. And Olivia Johnson, thank you. I'm so glad to know that, much like with Black Queen, that so many of us seem to be thinking the same thing as the at the same time. Yes, Lady T, the Last Supper. Yes, yes, the Last Supper. Uh, okay, okay. All right. Lynn E. Barron, that old institution has outlived its usefulness. The relics they live in need to be tested for air quality as the occupants are getting um, sycophants. Furthermore, the titles and crown jewels are cursed. Well, we know that blue ring is cursed. We know that that blue ring is cursed. And you know what? I think that sapphire is kind of bad luck, isn't it? Because the Hope Diamond isn't that, well, let me see. Maybe it's just blue stones because isn't the Hope Diamond a blue diamond surrounded by white diamonds? And of course, the engagement ring, well, that is sapphire and diamonds. So maybe it's just the blue and the band of white diamonds. Maybe that's like some type of ancient symbol that someone should not wear. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I think that the engagement ring is cursed, and they said that the Hope Diamond, which is in the Smithsonian, they said that no male should actually, was it no male should ever own that diamond? That it should only be worn by females or something like that. And anyway, it's supposed to be bad luck or curse. So I agree. Those crown jewels, I think because their origin, right? I think because of the origin that they are indeed cursed. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Okay, and Black Queen says, Baron, not that pic. One with Megan, kind of a pink cream top. Oh, I got that one too. I got that one too. No worries. I got that one too. They're not side by side, but I do have it. But thank you again. I got it. It is coming up. All right. Thank you again. Kate Middleton could not take part in traditional walk on Easter with royal family, right? I'm sorry, Kate could take part. What am I saying? Kate could take part in traditional walk on Easter with royal family. Now, remember, I showed you guys like, oh, I think a couple of those articles last week where they kept saying Kate could do this and Kate could do that, but they wouldn't say for sure that Kate would do anything. And right here, you can see on the right, everything changed because of that um, thing yesterday, whatever that was. Kate is not a show pony. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That's not what that says. It says Kate is not a show pony. Prince William and Kate Middleton will reveal more details about her recovery when they are ready, and she won't be pushed out to wave from a car because of the social media craziness over her health, friends say. Okay. So, and believe me, you all, they are responsible for most of the things that are said because all of these tabloids give Kate and William blanketed protection, right? So if there was any of these things they felt were disagreeable, you know that they would change the headlines as they have done several times. So if it says that, that is something that one of the tabloids they called Kensington Palace, asked them for a position, and that's what they were told. They are literally feeding lines to the tabloids to give them things to write about, all of which is constantly in favor or consistently in favor of whatever the palace is looking for, unless it's coming from Buckingham Palace, because again, there is a war between the two houses, right? Don't forget, they are at war. I don't care that they keep showing that picture of Charles and Kate hugging. They are still at war. Lorna Williams says WikiLeaks Central Park jogging pic faked. Lorna Williams, I that one I'm sure is fake, but that one was actually created as a matter of fact, I forgot the origins of that, but I never uh assumed that that one was William. I don't think it was supposed to be William, and right now I think some of the squatties are sharing it back and forth as though it's actually an attempt to depict William in Central Park. But no, that was more like a way of making fun of him. That's what that was, but it was never supposed to be William in Central Park. That image of him was taken from that little foot race with Harry, and so I'm not gonna even say that that was, or should I say, it would be irresponsible for me to say otherwise. But I know where that came from and why it was put together. So that was nothing from the palace or from the tabloids. That was actually from, I believe, the squatties. But thank you so much for your super chat. Okay. Yeah, that's why I never shared that one. Is if I did share it, I think it was only because I was making fun of Willie. Amber Rowan says the steel is real in the family. Pluck, pilfered, and plundered other people's property. Yes, thank you so much, Amber Rowan. And that has been a consistent theme with that family is that not only, oh, thank you. Oh, my clapper is kind of weird. Okay. Not only was the transatlantic slave trade sanctioned by the royal family or by the, it was started with Queen Elizabeth I. We know that. But Queen Elizabeth I, and I believe maybe Henry VIII before her, but I know for sure Queen Elizabeth I actually sanctioned piracy. She would send out her navy and they would go and plunder treasures from Spain and any other country that they may have been at odds with. But yeah, the British were actually plundering the booty. They were stealing the booty that the Spanish had took from the Americas or wherever else they sailed. So piracy and slavery is how Britain began to become incredibly rich and eventually became, I would say, really the world's first superpower. Yeah, the term superpower, I think they have used that for the United States, exclusively for the United States for a while. But the truth is, the world's first superpower was the British. I mean, they own the seas. They used their navy to plunder and make war and colonize the world. So that is one of the more brutal parts of the history, but nonetheless true. But thank you, Amber Rowan. Okay. All right, let me get on with it. I guess got a couple more things before I get to those other photos. Let's see. Exclusive Prince and Princess of Wales plan to be clear and more open about the princess's recovery from abdominal surgery, with Kate expected to talk about it after she resumes public duties next month. My Big Sunday Times. Okay. So, what is the date there? The date is 3/16/2024. So, that video may have been in the works for a while. It may have been in the works for a while. And even if they hadn't filmed it, Lord knows Kate probably rehearsed it. Unless, as we all fear, as we all suspect, unless things are not what they appear to be. AI. Oh, excuse me. AI. Oh, sorry. My sinuses. AI. Oh, excuse me. I had a little AI caught in the back of my throat. AI. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm having a post AI nasal drip. Okay. And then over here, if the royal family is not quite at the 11th hour, it is perilously close. An impressive warning from Richard K. that no one who cares about the monarchy can ignore. So things were getting really, really bad for them. And I think what pushed them over the edge, I'm going to say it again, TMZ, TMZ is what pushed him over the edge. Kim Peaches says, "Good evening, Baron. I don't know why I can't be a part of the chat and is says I have to subscribe for 7 days." Yeah, Kim Peaches, by mistake, you may have unsubscribed yourself. That's what I suspect. And yeah, because of the troll spray I have on, and I even, I'm sure I did make you one of the preferred members, and still for whatever reason that doesn't seem to have worked. But I did address it. So unfortunately, if I turn off the troll spray, we're going to get a bunch of weirdos in here. So please be patient, and I'll take a look at it again and see if I can help in any way. But until then, thank you so much for your persistence. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Yeah, I think the notification bell and the subscription bell I think that is what causes confusion is that for both, you have that bell. And it's so easy, I believe, for someone to maybe try to subscribe, maybe even to another channel, and then unsubscribe yourself to something that you've been subscribed to all along. So, if that happens, just make sure you double check that it is the right thing that you're doing. But I do apologize for that. Okay. All right, so let me go to one more here. Now, this is one of the things that is so irksome is that we all know that one of the things that is practically Megan's brand. Oh, and by the way, there is that tree again. Remember, that's the tree that they said that Misan Harriman planted in the Sussex's uh, garden or pasture or meadow or whatever. That tree has been there for years, and still, the tabloids tried to make a case that Misan Harriman was manipulating the scene. And isn't that incredible that even back then, even before any of all of this stuff came out, they were trying to find some way to put Misan Harriman on the spot about working with the Sussexes or trying to find something sly or phony about the Sussexes. So the guy was like drilling him about the setup or the scenery or something like that, which is crazy to think about it now. That even then they were, I guess it was just by habit, because the British press, they are so good at trying to get someone on the record for something that they can use against them in the future. That always happens where they're trying to get them on the record. And that's exactly what happened this time. So it is an awful way to do business, but that is par for the course with the British tabloid media, something that I absolutely loathe. But what can you do about it? Okay, but let me see. I forget that was. I just listened to that and I forgot what it was. JJ, JJ. Let me see here. JJ says, Baron, today was the former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney's funeral. I did not know that. Sarah Ferguson was there. Is she a working royal now? Was she representing the Commonwealth? No, I shouldn't think so. And I did not see any articles about Sarah Ferguson doing anything official. That being said, it would not be impossible that she would be there to represent the family, but I would imagine that there was at least a cousin or someone who would have gone to the funeral. But that is a good question. I will look into that. But yeah, I didn't see any like article saying that she was representing the king. But you know what? I'm going to say why I think it's not impossible because I do believe that Tom Parker Bowles, no, what is Camilla's ex-husband's name? Anyway, I do believe he represented Charles for something, didn't he? Didn't he go to a funeral to represent for Charles? So, yeah, I'm going to say it is possible. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, as people still call her, until she gets married again, I believe she can still use that Duchess of York if she chooses to. She's certainly not an HRH. But the Queen did arrange that, when Sarah goes to her glory, that she will have a royal funeral or royal burial or something. Not, of course, not a state anything, but she will be buried at the Frogmore burial site. So, um, in other words, she'll be with the rest of the family. Um, but yeah, that's a good question. I did not even know about the funeral, but thank you so much And I will check into that. And thank you, of course, for watching Royal Sussex. And uh, yeah, thank you. Wow, that is weird, though. I had no idea that that happened. And I would kind of like to know, but oh well. And oh yeah, and sorry for the loss for the people of Canada. I think he was actually very popular, right? And Jessica Mulrooney's father-in-law, if I'm correct. Jessica Mulrooney's father-in-law. Okay. Mm. Kate's safe haven. Uh-oh, she must be in Amber Hall. Inside Kate's sanctuary at Amber Hall, where she, William, and the children will close off from the world and move on as Princess undergoes treatment after shock cancer diagnosis. It really does. They write this stuff like it's some soap opera. And that is what keeps them relevant. That really is what keeps them relevant, is that this is going to go a long way to keep people talking about them. And if nothing else, they really do need that. They need for people to discuss them, and they need to be central to the lives of people in Britain, and at least a curiosity to people in other places. Yeah, that is I mean, the amount of articles that has been written about um, Kate in the past, oh, I don't know, 24 hours, 48 hours, or has it been for the entire month, has been breathtaking. And unfortunately, because she's been missing and because of this cancer diagnosis, this may be the height of her popularity, and that is pending whether or not the plan for 2024 is still in play. And y'all know what plan that was. The plan for 2024, the big announcement, and that big announcement was not cancer. It was divorce. That's what we were expecting, was a divorce announcement. But it seems like somebody else had other ideas. Okay. And this is the one that the Black Queen was talking about. Black Queen mentioned that it seemed to be an absolute copy of Meghan's video here, where she's wearing, I guess you would call that blush. Is that blush, that color? Or mauve, kind of like a plum, no, dusty rose. Anyway, this is exactly, but unlike this, well, okay, let's do the comparison. So we'll go here and let me see, just to make it easy on myself. No, I'll just go back like I did before. So you have that, and I'll go back to this one. Well, no, because that doesn't show the wide angle of it. So let me go back here, and then I'll bring up the slide from yesterday. That'll make it easier. Oh no, day before yes. Well, earlier yesterday. That's the one. This one. So as you see here, this is why I said kind of a Last Supper Renaissance Jesus, is because she is center on the bench, right? Whereas Meghan is on off to one side here, which it seems like the typical way a person would use a bench. I mean, sitting at the very middle is very deliberate. I mean, after all, you're supposed to convey a casual sense of, oh, I'm just going to sit down and have a little chat with you. You want to kind of make it seem like somebody's going to sit down next to you, but nope, not for Kate. Kate is center, front and center. See there? That is the big difference. But otherwise, and then, okay. All right. So right here, Charles says he is so proud of Catherine for her courage following the cancer announcement. And then, of course, immediately they make it about Harry and Meghan. Prince Harry and Meghan wish Kate health and healing as she undergoes cancer treatment. Now, remember, Harry and Meghan did not leak that, right? They did. They probably. I'm sure they did not make that public. Um. Oh, well, either way, it was up to them whether or not they wanted to run that in the paper, and it was up to them whether or not they wanted to put it front and center. And that's exactly what they did. They kind of made that the story for a little while yesterday. And then, holy AI Batman. So they're saying that the image allegedly, possibly, maybe have been fed into an AI software. As you can see, as one squatty says, not one flower in the video background is moving. Everything is still. The pics attached are from the year they shot the Heads Together video. You see that? Now, I'm going to play a little soundbite for you that you may find interesting. Now, I may have to stop it because there's a little music that comes up and that could cause a problem for me. So I may have to stop it at a certain point. Let me see. I hope you guys can hear it. Let me grab this. But I do believe you will find it interesting.
Eyes are changing color. I caught a couple glimpses of.
Oh.
I took the new Kate cancer video and I slowed it down frame by frame, and I see her eyes popping out of her head as a digital mistake. And I truly believe, personally, my personal opinion is that this is an AI video. And if you watch to the end of this video, super important, there's a 7-year-old video from YouTube with her wearing the exact same clothes, having the exact same hair, which they probably fed to the AI to make this video. It's a very good video. Probably the best AI available to humankind. But her eyes are changing color. I caught a couple glimpses of it. You can do this yourself. Don't trust me. Put this in super slow motion, run it through frame by frame. You will see her eyes popping out of her head, mismatching, changing color, as well as none of the background moves, which we know is a green screen at this
point. Okay. Now that kind of scratchy music that you just heard, he actually shows an image of Kate wearing that same jumper or sweater. But William and our dear beloved Prince Harry are also in the video, and they're wearing those headbands. So, what do you all think? What do you all think? It makes a lot of sense to me. He said 7-year-old video that they fed into the AI, and when the AI was done with it, that's what it came up with. That's what it came up with. Now, it gets even more and more bizarre as you go along. I don't know if you all have seen this, and trigger warning. That's all I'll say is trigger warning. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Trigger warning. I said trigger warning. Helene, thank you so much for being here. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Are we ready with this? There it is up there. Oh, I hate to do this to you. I really do. I regret it already. But here goes. Oh, let me see here. Then I move this over here. Does that work? Huh, is that it? No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. There it is, hiding in plain sight. Okay. Do not crap your pants. Do not crap your pants. Do not jump out the window. Do not lay on the floor like Curly on the Three Stooges and spin around in a circle. But I got to show you. I got to show you. Ready? Here goes.
Recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay. Treatment. Of course, came as a huge shock.
Cassie Banks, of course it's not Kate. It is a demonstration of how AI can be incredibly, incredibly creepy and effective. So that video, once again, the palace has really stepped into it. Once again, they have shared or they have signed off or approved, given tacit approval to something that creates more doubt than it satisfies. Khadijah Jacobs, you are saying the same thing I said about the hospital and about the surgery. What did I say? I said, I don't want to believe. I can't wrap my head around it. I just can't believe that a hospital with working medical professionals, pillars of the community, I don't want to believe that they would be put in a position where they would have to lie or look the other way for the sake of the royal family. Did I not say that? Did I not say that? I anguished over the idea that that was a possibility. And yet I find myself again, because we all say, especially as most of us here are over 40, over 50, some over 60, 70, and few 80-year-olds, 80 plus year olds. And of course, as we are older, we are very sensitive, and none of us want to believe that someone would lie about having cancer, right? Just like I didn't want to believe that anybody would make a Frankenstein photo and insert children into that photo, right? And of course, we find out that it didn't just happen on one isolated occasion, that it's been a theme for some time, according to them, from a world class photographer. That's the reason why Willie wasn't beside her. You all, I I'm struggling. I'm struggling because it would be the height of arrogance to make up something like this and then expect people to buy it. However, until we have concrete proof, what else do we have to go on? What else do we have? Because we know that they have misrepresented time and time again. Marjorie Austin, thank you for the super chat, Baron. You realize Kate speaks fluently now that she's sick. Marjorie Austin, I must admit, I have been so overwhelmed because I have been inundated with the idea that this video and that photo may be fake, that I didn't even think to listen to the voice itself. And of course, the only fair thing to do is to reach out to Kensington Palace for comment. And let's do a comparison between the chops of this video here in comparison to some vintage. Baron, her ring disappears at the end as well. Oh no. Okay, let's go to Kensington Palace. Kate?
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously on to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Oh, B. Martin, let me see. What the hell? Why she has the Duchess features? B. Martin, thank you for the super chat. That was a demonstration of the power of AI. Okay, that is a demonstration. It's an indication that the technology is so great that any of us could, they use it for age progression. They use it to create younger versions of characters to put in movies like they did with Will Smith. And they did that in the Iron Man movie. So it's a thing. It's a thing. And when it's done very well, you really can't tell the difference. And then as for Black Queen, you said the ring keeps disappearing at the end. I didn't notice that, but I will look for it again because, and you know what? Since you said that, let me just say this. I did not notice the ring the first time I watched the video. So maybe when I looked for it, it wasn't there. Yeah. BT, you said, please play Kate talking again. Can't believe it. Which one? Not the AI thing.
And William
here.
and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family. As you can imagine, this is...
I don't like looking at that, though. That's too weird. That is too weird. That's too weird. Let me see. The ring pops off and it disappears. And it disappears off and on. You all, listen. Like I said, it almost is scary. It's almost kind of frightening to have to acknowledge or accept or consider that they may have deliberately done something so easily exposed. Okay? I can't wrap my head around that one. But if that is true, I'm just wondering what do they expect to achieve from this? You know what I mean? What's the end game? If I can quote Omid Scobie, what is the end game? What is the end game if someone has deliberately introduced this, claimed it was Kate Middleton, and it's not? But okay, I'm looking for the original video right now because now you all got me curious and I want to see. So Again, let me go to Omit. That's where I know I can find it. And you know, they keep saying AI is going to be a problem. AI is going to be a problem. Okay, I'm looking at it. And the thing is, I'm looking at there's a caption on this video, don't you know? I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, and this is from their website. Oh, wait, is that how I turn off the caption? Oh, Lord. I don't know how to turn it off. But I'm looking at it very close. Oh, can you guys hear that? I'm looking at her eyes, and I'm looking at her ring. Her eyes do look weird. Her eyes do look weird. Having William by my side, and William is nowhere to be found. Okay. Now, to be fair, I don't see the ring disappear. I'm looking for it, but again, it's hard for me because I'm looking through the caption. So, yeah. It's not easy because 'cause I'm looking through the caption. So and the thing is she keeps moving her hands. You know, she got that little tick. Let me see what people are saying in the comments. Oh, the Kensington Palace comments. I wanna look and see what they're saying on their comments. Oh, there's a response from Emmanuel Macron. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be full of praise. Somebody posted a ooh. Somebody posted 34 minutes ago. Somebody posted the heads together picture, and they did a side by side of the heads together and the video. Squatties ain't having it. The squatties are not having it. Do you hear me? The squatties are not having it. They are going into the lion's den. They're going into the enemy territory. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to share this photo with you guys. And it's almost it's the same theme. Okay, I've been looking away from the chat. I hope I didn't miss anything. Let me go back and take a look. I'm very sorry. Oh, it's a lot. Okay, I'm going to miss most of what you all commented. I do apologize. Lady T says no British medical professional has spoken on any of these issues. Good point. Good point. You're right about that. Okay, yeah, you guys, I'm going to step it up because I got quite a few things I want to share with you. Do the pics and the videos really matter at this point? I bet you they will be blaming Harry and Meghan for all the chaos KP is creating with the health saga. And avoid, they started that within minutes. They started that immediately. I think she had cancer, which would explain the bad wigs and every. Well, you know what, Little Mac, I will admit, um, and I said this yesterday. Kate was looking awful before Christmas, and noticeably, um, she was quite haggard looking. Now, she was wearing a lot of makeup, and she was wearing the big wigs, right? And there are some people that are of the opinion that the palace, that Kensington Palace, that they've known about this for a while, and they just were waiting to release the information at a time and a place when it would serve them the best. So, KP, oh, thank you, VS Speaks Royally. They are not a trusted source. Let's see, why does she look different? I still, what was that? When the video was going, uh, where, oh, yes, where are the moles? Where are the moles? Let me see. I'm going to take another look. Let me see. Gonna take another look to see if I can see the mole. Oh no, that'd be too much trouble to go back and look for it. Never mind. You all, this is too funny. Let me see. I can guess. Was it perhaps the same person that created this? Oh Lord. Listen, something very strange is going to happen by Easter. You know how they kept saying that she wasn't coming back into Easter? Again, more religious symbolism. And you know, I believe that Easter she will make an appearance. I believe that they're pretending like she's not coming out for Easter, and they're going to make sure that she's out for Easter. Um Listen, when I show you these photos, do not, I repeat, do not pinch my head off because I didn't do it. I'm just the messenger. I am just the messenger. Okay, you ready? Um, ah, I am just the messenger. Well, she's wearing a crown. She is wearing a crown. Yes. Yes, she has arisen. I'm telling you, there is more religious iconography. She is she now belongs to the ages. Wait for it. This is like a little yeah, as you can see, Kate has risen. And to think they thought they were going to shut down speculation and conspiracies. Child, we only just begun. We've only just begun to speculate. Yes, we've only just begun. Let me see. KDB, 14 months membership. Baron and my fellow squatties. I told you people on a couple of your lives that they will bring her out as real, but she's not. This is an AI Kate. Woof. Okay, KDB. Okay. Then you were right. This is just so awful. This is just awful. Now, I got another soundbite for you guys. But before I play the soundbite, remember William abandoned Kate Middleton, says the royal commentator, because like a punk, like a punk, William allowed Kate to take the fall for Frankenstein photo Kate, a gate, a Kate, a gate. Photo fake Franken photo. Yes, he allowed wait a minute. Not that we're calling it Franken photo, but he allowed her to take the fall for the Franken photo. Um okay. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Um oh wow. Heavily questioned. Truth. The truth will. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, and let me see. Lord, this is your child. Continue to be by her side and her little family. Okay, somebody's praying for Meghan. Somebody's praying for Meghan. Okay, I got to do this soundbite for you because this one is a doozy. This one is, well, actually, that first one was more compelling, but wait for it. Oh, sorry. I got to cut that on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Here we go. Here we go.
Nope. There is no world.
Oh, you know what? That is why I pre-recorded this one, because that one keeps buffering. I'm so glad I did that, because otherwise we get stuck. But I already took measures to make sure that it would not happen. So let me see. Okay. I
Entire job.
already took measures. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's do it.
Nope. There is no world in which a public figure whose entire job is to be the public face of an entire country, whose life is partly funded by the public of that entire country, would ever have a cancer diagnosis in private. That's not real. That's why we know about King Charles's. Now, obviously, is there something that we can all learn here about not jumping to conclusions and not jumping on bandwagons and keeping our cool a little bit more in the future? Absolutely. So yeah, sure, lesson learned. But there is no world in which Kate Middleton would have just privately dealt with her cancer if we had all shut up. That's not real. But more importantly, we didn't create this debacle, the palace did. And then they threw gas on it over and over again. And most important of all, when it all blew up, the palace threw a woman being treated for cancer under the bus and blamed it all on her. After they originally attributed it to Prince William, by the way. No amount of people taking the bait they fed us and running with it is in any way as egregious as this. This is...
Okay. So this guy, he starts off doing the buzzer sound, and he was right. And this is what I said time and time again when we were looking at the farmer's market photo. I said, even if we're wrong, it's not our fault, because the palace has had an epic failure with their rollout of this whole where's Kate Middleton thing. And now, with that very bizarre video, let me show you something that I think is so ridiculous about that video. Do you see this? I tuned up the color so that it would look more Renaissance and less pale and stale, right? I just tuned up the color a bit. If I would have left it alone, it would have looked like this. So I just gave it a slight tint so that it looked more alive and realistic. And perhaps, okay, let's say if this was an AI video, right? if this is an AI video, perhaps they had to tone it down so that it could heighten the idea that the subject is unwell, that the subject is sickly, so that the person in the video will look like they're anemic, right? But if you turn the color up, I mean, basically that's Kate, right? If you just tune up the color, we're back to good old Katie. So why go through the trouble, or I'm sure it wasn't trouble, but what is the purpose of having it so pale? Why have it so bland, unnecessarily bland? Unless you're trying to reinforce the idea that Kate is unwell and therefore don't expect her to do any royal duties. See what I mean? Let's see. Michelle Wisdom. Oh, you just became a member. Thank you very much, Michelle Wisdom. And thank you for being here with us on Royal Sussex. And remember, everyone, memberships start at only $4.99 each. And Kathy G, a member for 26 months, preventative chemotherapy refers to treatment that is conducted after an initial treatment, like surgery, to prevent cancer from coming back. Thank you, Kathy G. We are learning so much more about that particular thing because they are making it central to whatever treatment plan that she's going through right now. Still, there seems to be a conflict in the timing of everything, but we have nothing to go by but what they say. So, oh, let me see here. Oh, thank you so much. Lydia Washington has put the link for the membership here. So I'm going to go ahead and pin it to the top of the chat. So if you all want to do a membership, just go to the top of the chat there and you can see the link. Click on that and have your way at it. So thank you very much, Lydia Washington. Okay, and let me see before I lose my place here. So I was with Kathy G. Gosh, I hope that's right. Amy Girl says we may never see her out greeting people again. Very true, very true, and that's consistent with what one of the papers said that we may not see her for 9 months. And then someone else, I forget who it was, but it was not an official voice, that said that we may not see her for the entirety of 2024. So, and still, even though we've seen her, we can't be sure that we've seen her. Listen, you all, I'm not taking so much pleasure in this. I can't believe that we're having this conversation, especially after the farmer's market, after the head was turned to a brick wall, right? Where she had her head turned facing the brick wall. After that car with 5 wheels, I cannot believe that this is the conversation. I just can't believe it. It doesn't make any sense. Let me see. Oh, is it Emuse? Emuse just became a member. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Wow, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's going to go a long way to support this channel. Okay. Lorna Williams says, great point, Baron. If you wish to reassure the public, why does Kate look so pale? And remember, her children will see this because it's all over TV. That picture of her would worry them. Absolutely. And also, we have not seen the children since Christmas. And okay, I'm not trying to do that institution a favor. Of course not. I'm here for the Sussexes. But instantly, from the very beginning, January 17th, the first official something about illness. Why? Why would you say on the same day, within hours, or was it an hour and a half? Why would you tell the world that Kate Middleton has just had abdominal surgery? Don't worry, it's not cancerous. And then on that same day, by coincidence, the same two people that were referred to as racists, that same day, you'd say that her father in law has prostate problems, enlarged prostate or whatever. Oh, and don't you worry, it's not cancer. Okay. At neither point did they have to say cancer. Nobody asked them if it was cancer, right? I'm not sure that anybody would have asked one way or the other. We were just too surprised that senior members of the royal family were discussing illness, especially when you consider that William was hesitant, if not resistant, to admitting that he had, the pandemic. I don't want to say the C word. And also, remember, we never heard whether Kate was infected or not. Nobody has said one way or the other. The only person that's been confirmed from that household is William. And as for Charles and Camilla, we both know they went through it twice. Okay? Kate, it was a mystery. So the fact that they're talking about a surgery in the first place is shocking. Amy Gross, 17 months membership. They are dropping like flies. Thank you, Amy Girl. Yes, they are dropping like flies. Thank you. Is it L Rents? Let me see. The next assignment will be attending acting classes. Maybe the PR assignments will be more authentic. Yes, at least they can learn proper staging methods. Yeah, they can learn how to do some proper staging methods. Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for being here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I got miles to get back to where I was. Let me see. What did I leave off? Nope, it wasn't here. Okay, this is where I left off, was with this guy. I like this guy. He's pretty cool. And I think he's very fair. And I wouldn't even say that but he said what needed to be said. And because they tried to hoodwink the public, because they tried to pull the okey doke, they have been caught and called out for it. Don't blame us. Now, Kate, happy and healthy. Happy and healthy. The palace saw the headlines. The palace may have conveyed those headlines. So there was a sighting of Kate Middleton at the garden center, farmer's market, supermarket, such and such, right? These are the photos that they were trying to share. Well, they did share these, even though in the small print, they let you know that it wasn't from this occasion. It was from another occasion. They even found photos that reinforced the idea that Kate was out casually and happy and healthy. And that, remember, they said that they watched the kids play sport. They even found something with the kids to allow us to think that they were playing sport and that Kate was watching, which it was so irresponsible of the Daily Mail to do that. Who could do something as stupid as that? The Sun did the same thing. Except the Sun, well, actually, they did use that other photo. And then they had Kate in her blazer. Kate outdoors, happy and healthy princess spotted Look at there. They've been using the same language. Spotted out and about for the first time since surgery as she visits farm shop with Wills. Right? Wills. Not Prince William, but Wills. Like we're all close. But okay, so they did that. And again, they put these healthy photos. Kate at the peak of fitness, which is what they wanted to convey, that she's okay. She's on the road to recovery. And then, of course, Dr. Scholler said yesterday, tighten your seatbelts. The British media is going to be insufferable for the next 48 hours. Get ready for an intensive course of revisionism and finger pointing. I'll do my best to be good, but I can't promise to be silent. So she said that yesterday. And well, as you can see, with good reason, because the tabloid media has been all over us like cheap suits. James O'Brien, let's see, I think this was before Kate's confession. Not true, actually. Oh, let's see, what was the comment? So James O'Brien was correct when he said, we will all find out soon, suggesting that this was known on the grapevine for a while. And then James O'Brien said, not true, actually. The matter of speculation, the easier to imagine what the sad truth would be if it had been known on the grapevine. The Mail would never have published that Graham Sarabine hit piece like everybody, even half decent, I know, just wished the whole family well. Okay, so that was pre-confession or post-confession, I think. So here you have Kate. I have cancer. Blah, 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 blah. Next. Then right here, Kate Middleton surgery. Kensington Palace confirms Kate do not have cancer. Notice the date, January 17th, 2024. Kate, the Princess of Wales, is being treated at the London clinic for a planned abdominal surgery, but Kensington Palace has confirmed the mom of three's condition is non-cancerous. Kensington Palace has confirmed. They confirmed it. Kate is not undergoing cancer treatment. Kensington Palace has confirmed today the Princess of Wales is being treated in hospital after undergoing successful abdominal surgery. The palace announced she was admitted to the London clinic on Tuesday for the planned procedure. The future queen is expected to remain in hospital, which everybody said, I don't know why she's going to be there for 14 days before returning home to continue her recovery. Even it was one of the American doctors that said, that is too long. I couldn't imagine. But that's what they said. And anybody knows that you'd much rather be at home than at the hospital, where there's an incredibly high chance of some secondary infection or something. So they always want to get you out of there. Now, Palace confirms Kate is not undergoing cancer treatment. Over here, why did Kensington Palace say Kate Middleton's condition was non-cancerous in January? Now, that is from what, yesterday? Today? Yesterday. At the time of Kate's surgery, her condition was thought to be non-cancerous, but post-operative tests found cancer. Why would you even release that information if you weren't certain? Why would you do that? Now, I hear that it takes about 2 weeks to get the information back. But for some reason, they felt as though they needed to make it very clear that Kate doesn't have cancer. But fast forward from January 17th to March the 22nd, and now they're waving their fingers in everybody's face because they want us to know that we've all been bullies and that we got it wrong. Again, whose fault is it? And of course, drag in the Sussexes. Harry reaches out to William. The Duke and Meghan have both privately contacted his brother. Notice they said privately. That's why I was saying someone leaked that information. I'm pretty sure Harry and Meghan were comfortable with nobody knowing whether or not they said anything, but they both have contacted them privately, finding out the Princess of Wales shock cancer diagnosis, blah, 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 blah. So, okay. And of course, any approval or anything that seems deferential or considerate or whatever from the Sussexes is golden. So they made sure they put it out there. Amy Girl says, Kate outdoors was very telling for me, especially when the bench video is also outdoors with not even a blanket or a soft pillow or a husband by her side. It seems like a what is that? What is coming? A why am I not getting that? A prefigure. Okay, that. All right. A premonition, right? Okay, premonition. Okay. I'm so sorry I'm not getting that one, but thank you so much, Amy Girl. A pre-configuration. Oh, got it. I got your update. Thank you very much. A pre-configuration. Thank you very much. And thank you for the super chat. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thanks, and thank you. All right. Now, let me get here. Now, Harry and Meghan wish Kate health and healing. Prince Harry and Meghan have just released a short statement saying, we wish health and healing. So they contacted them privately, and then there was this public statement. I don't know how they got the statement. I didn't see the means by which it was given, but okay, that's the more public one. And then, of course, okay. I'm so sorry. I did see that. Thank you so much. Prefiguration. Thank you very much. Will Harry fly back to see the sister-in-law he was once so close to? Duke of Sussex, who was affectionately treated like a younger brother by the Princess of Wales, faces another flight back to Britain as his family is thrown into new health crisis. Or he can do like Pippa and go to the beach. He could do like Pippa and go to the beach, right? Why don't he do like Pippa and go to the beach? Or why don't he do like James and make dog food? Huh? Why does he have to fly back and Pippa goes to the beach and James is making dog food? Why does he have to go back? Huh? Why does he have to go back? Just because he doesn't have a bikini crawling inside of his butt crack like Pippa, why does he have to go back? How come he can't do like the what do you call it? The rest of the Middletons, Ma and Pa Middleton? Why can't he just do like them and not go and see her at all? It doesn't seem like they've seen her. How come he can't be like Kate's staff and not see her? Because that's what the staff said, that they haven't talked to her since Christmas. So right here, reporter Taylor Lorenz says Palace botched Kate's cancer news rollout. Yes, they did. And also, TMZ, pressure on TMZ to pull is Where is Kate Middleton documentary in the wake of his Princess of Wales cancer diagnosis as social media conspiracy theorists are shamed by recent wild speculation. Are they shamed? Are they shamed? I don't think so. I don't think so. As a matter of fact, from what I've seen, it appears as though the TikTokers and such have come back even stronger. It seems to me they have come back with renewed vigor. That's what I'm noticing, that they seem to have started anew, not the old, anew. Um, oh, okay. All right. I do have one more sound bite, but I'm going to do that one later. Yes, that one is for later. Oh, but that one with Meghan, that is a bit creepy. That one creeps me out. Faux show.
To be answered, I think, in some way.
What is this?
That are typically given in the bloodstream. Sometimes they can be given as.
Okay. Oh, all right. There's a danger for the royals' pursuit and attention. Okay, the royals' pursuit of Americans and attention of the world will definitely take your word in good faith, but those with professional knowledge will start asking pertinent questions. In the UK, that family have more control. In the United States, they have no such control. Yeah, that is, again, it was the TMZ. The TMZ, I believe, was triggering for them. I really do believe that triggered them. Let's see. Only an acre. See. AI, AI, with a blink, blink here and a wisp of hair there, and old sweater here and a husband nowhere. That sounds like one of my songs. All right. I love it. Oh, let me see. Oh, Princess Wells had a bench. AIAIO with a blink blink here and a wisp of hair there, an old sweater here and a husband nowhere. AI. Woo! That is epic. That is perfection. Thank you, Only an Acre. That is epic. I love it. I love it. And how nice of you to have Camilla as your profile picture. KDV says Baron, he should go back to see a new clown go back to see the new clown big sister that he always dreamed of having, because he is scared of hers since she's the next AI queen. Thank you very much, KDV. I would be afraid. I would be afraid. Okay. Let us move on. I do hope I didn't miss anybody. Let me see. Here. Oh, Camilla on vacation. Worried much? Thank you, Susie Whitlock. Yeah, Camilla is on vacation, so she cannot be all that concerned about anything. If she's on vacation, she could not be that worried. Okay. And this time of year, I think they would have taken off anyway. So they had the Troop in the Colors, right? No, they've already had the Commonwealth Day. I think the Monday Day is next. Well, you know what? I know that Kate and William were on vacation for Monday Day on that occasion when the Sussexes went to visit the Queen in that very stealthy visit to the Queen. So the Monday Day celebration, they would have been on vacation anyway. The Will and Kate would have. They would have been on vacation anyway. Okay. Okay, let me take that away. All right. All right. I think we're all caught up. All right. Very good. So, Piers Morgan heard alarming things as he claims Prince William is covering something up. Piers Morgan thinks Prince William is trying to cover something up regarding his wife Kate Middleton as American media outlets make allegations about the state of the couple's marriage. You see what I mean? And let's not forget that Harry and Meghan was sacrificed. They were sacrificed for the sake of covering up the alleged affair between William and Rose Hanbury. So if they went through so much trouble to allegedly cover up that relationship before, do you really think that false fake videos would be out of the realm of possibility? That phony photos would be out of the realm of possibility? Because, okay, if Kate Middleton was not at the farmer's market because she doesn't like the way she looks, right? If Kate Middleton is still feeling rather, shall we say, unpresentable, right? And she just refused to address the nation, address the well wishers or whatever. And so they used an AI video in place of Kate. So let's say that Kate is on the mend and she's not so bad off or whatever, but she just does not want to appear. And so, I mean, it's just like having an avatar, isn't it? If that is indeed an AI. Oh man, I'm sorry this happened. I am really sorry. At the same time that I don't want to help those people at all. I'm not inclined to help them. But is if that is true, it makes me feel a bit nervous because anybody who would risk something as big as that would risk a whole lot more. Anybody who would be capable of faking something like that is someone who is very desperate. And even if William got in drag and sat there on that bench, right? And the word went out to the Royal Rota that that's William. I don't care what nobody say. Remember, that's William. You know they would sit there and gaslight and lie and pretend for the sake of it because they had been given their instructions to do that. The same way that they played with that timeline with Schofield. I ain't talking about Miss Peepers in California, the other Schofield. The same way they swore up and down that the timeline of that relationship was proper. I don't believe it, but that's what they said. And they all said the same thing every day for protection for him. The same way that they gave cover to Dan Wooten. The same way they gave cover to a lot of people. They always give them cover. So the idea that they would not give William cover because it is immoral and it is against their principles, well, the royal reporters, the authors, the Royal Rota, They have no principles. So I don't think that that would stop them. I mean, why the pale appearance when you could have just as easily have toned it up to make it seem less like a misty meadow in the middle of nowhere instead of, you know, Windsor or wherever they're supposed to be. Why would you do that? Unless you were trying to make a point. Now, BBC reporter says woman's photograph with Prince William was Kate lookalike. And then we started hearing about the world of the double gangers, right? And still, Kensington Palace has not said for certain that that was Kate Middleton. And then you have TMZ saying, well, we have our doubts. Even TMZ has doubts. And that's not going to, they're not going to allow that. They're not going to let that go unanswered. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not going to allow those doubts to go unanswered. And so then this is how we get Kate on the park bench, because they would not allow those doubts to go unanswered. Man, this is creepy. This is really, really creepy. This really does creep me out. I'm not just saying that. This really, really creeps me out. Because at a certain point, I'm a realist. At a certain point, anytime I find out that someone would do almost anything not to avoid being caught out, that's someone you need to be afraid of. Susan Whitlock says maybe Kate's been taken to the train station. Is that a metaphor? That sounds so ominous. I'm afraid to ask. Thank you so much, Susan Whitlock. That sounds so ominous. I am afraid to ask. I was going to ask you to explain that, but that's okay. I don't think I want to know.
I'm not convinced that the picture of Kate herself was
Sorry about that. That was too loud.
Convinced that the picture of Kate herself was
Oh, wow. This is freezing.
Remove these. I'm not convinced that the picture of Kate herself was
Oh, man.
It was just somebody who bumped into her, who knows her, who just said that she looked a lot thinner than she did in the picture. But certainly if you look at the picture, she looks absolutely blooming with good health. I do not believe that's an accurate reflection of how she actually looked at the time.
Did this person say she was alarmingly thin?
Kate is pretty thin anyway, and she was described to me as being thinner than usual. I'm not convinced that the picture of
Okay.
I'm not
Okay, so that was the best I could do. But yeah, that was just a little bit of what was mentioned on the TMZ. Let's see. All right. Kate Middleton, TMZ. Let's see if I can find another one of those little sound bites. Okay.
How does the palace release a photo like this when you're just asking for trouble and it's so obvious?
That is a great question, and I've been asking myself that since the photo came out.
One of the things that struck
Ooh,
me is
questions and conspiracy theories have swirled around the Princess of Wales' whereabouts for months, with only rare glimpses of her outside of her home. Tonight, TMZ takes a hard look at how the palace's controversial handling of the crisis ignited a firestorm of speculation. And joining me now with more on the special is TMZ Investigates executive producer Harvey Levin. Hello, good morning.
Okay. Not exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for the actual thing. And also that gosh, what was that? It was an Australian. I think I shared that on the community tab where they did an excellent job. You see, they have been doing a lot. They have been doing a lot, and the palace has lost so much control of the message that they freaked out. Oh God. Rumors continue to circulate about where's Kate Middleton. Okay, no, not that one. That's an old one. You guys, I am afraid that this is just, I almost feel like this is just the start of things. Rather than the beginning of the end, it feels like the end of the beginning. It feels like the end of the beginning. Like this is going to be a topic for some time. Yeah, like this is going to be a topic for some time. Because I'm afraid it's just okay, let's do this one.
you heard what Kate said, and you obviously know what people in social media have been saying. Does this put an end to it?
Well, I think it's certainly caused a reckoning online. I mean, you saw people on Twitter deleting their old tweets very quickly, sharing this Real Housewife clip where one of them is saying, "I was so wrong." And I think a lot of people are feeling sort of guilty for maybe participating in this campaign. That said, a lot of other people are criticizing the royal palace and saying, you know, we understand the sensitivities and wanting to communicate with children, but wow, you guys handled this the worst way possible, right? Like, what was with that Photoshop picture? Why was she missing her ring? Of course, she's got the ring back on in the video. You know, but I do think it's a lesson in PR for the palace. They kind of threw her to the wolves with this, you know. And I'm sure we're going to see conspiracies and those saying that, you know, this is still a deep fake or who knows what. But I do think it's tamped down quite a bit. And people are expressing a lot of sympathy for her, especially as so many Americans have dealt with cancer themselves. I think that things had essentially reached such a fever pitch and things were getting so out of control that they just completely lost control of the narrative. And they really needed to play this kind of trump card of like, all right, here's what's going on. I also think that this news would have gotten out. You know, she says she's going through treatment. I'm sure she'll have to go to a hospital. You know, she would have been cited. And I think that at this point, they just had to release more information.
If you were advising them, how should they have handled this from the get-go?
In my opinion, I think they should have just been as direct as possible, as early as possible. You know, say, listen, Kate went in, they found some concerning things. She's facing a medical issue, which they did say, of course, that she has the planned abdominal surgery, but that doesn't really give people enough information. So I think they could have tried to tamp down on it a little bit. I think also just not releasing information. I think their little attempts at dripping things out, like the photo especially, was just a mess up. And even just having her walk out from, you know, the cafe or wherever she was walking this past weekend, like these little things aren't going to work. You really need her face to camera addressing the public. And, you know, I think they hopefully could have tried to do that a little sooner or had, you know, a close friend of hers maybe speak on her behalf. But I think these little drips of information are just what feeds conspiracies.
Okay. Have a close friend. Now, that just goes to show that this lady don't know nothing about Kate, because we all know Kate does not have any close friends. I repeat, Kate does not have any close friends. I don't even think she's that close to her own sister. Kate does not have any close friends. You have how many times? How many times have you seen Kate out with her brother? How many times have you seen Kate out with her mother, with her sister? Certainly not her father. She doesn't seem to have a lady in waiting. She doesn't seem to have anyone. And people were saying that the whole thing with the Adelaide Cottage, which is the first time that as the prince and well, since they have not where am I trying to go with this? They were living in a small place as the husband, wife, air ambulance, blah blah blah, right? But when they moved to Admiral Hall, when they had the Queen evict the family that was living happily at Admiral Hall, not that they needed it, but that's what they wanted so that they could be close to Sandringham and close to the what is it? The Marchioness and the Marquise, whatever so they could be close to Rose and Rock Savage, right? They wanted to be close to Hanbury and Rock Savage. So they made it happen. The Queen evicted the family at the Admiral Hall, which they were leasing from the Crown, or from the actually that property I believe is owned by the sovereign, part of the Sandringham estate. So those people had to move. And of course, the government financed their driveway and some other improvements that cost over £2.5 million. Even though Harry and Meghan were forced to pay back the pre-scheduled improvements on Frogmore before they even thought about living there, it was already slated for reconstruction or whatever. Will and Kate didn't have to pay back anything. As a matter of fact, the Queen even threw in an £8 million helicopter for William to use so he can go back and forth to the Hanbury's place, right? Especially since they say that David Rock Savage lives in Paris for 6 months out of the year with a close companion of his that also happens to be a dude, allegedly. Okay. Now, where was I going with that? So when they moved to Adelaide Cottage, the big deal that they made about that, yes, we do have a home at the largest apartment at Kensington Palace. Yes, we have that. We do have Admiral Hall. We have that too. But we have a place up in Scotland that nobody ever sees. And then they got Adelaide Cottage. And they made a big fuss. Oh, this place is so small, we don't have room for servants. This will be the first time that we didn't have room for servants. That doesn't mean that staff of 60 do not rotate in and out of the property every day. And as I showed you all from an aerial view, there is another building behind Adelaide Cottage of equal proportion or greater with enough room for, guess what? A staff. Okay, so they're not in the house. They're about 10 feet away. But the staff is omnipresent, as well as the place is part of the Great Windsor Park and patrolled day and night by armed officers. So they really didn't give up much of anything. I am of the opinion that that William is actually, whenever he's supposed to be at Adelaide Cottage, he's at Windsor. Adelaide Cottage is where Kate is isolated. That's my point that I was trying to make, is that slowly it's been like a compression. Kate has been increasingly isolated. And the last place where she has been isolated was at the Adelaide Cottage, out of reach of her family, out of reach of her friends, what's left of them, And so, aside from the time that she spends with the children, I don't think she has much else outside of that. Now, she could have had a neighbor at Kensington Palace on the grounds of the Great Windsor Park, the Duchess of Sussex. But when Meghan reached out to her in friendship, she pushed back and wore a white dress to her wedding. And we all know what happened there, so I won't go through that. So she doesn't have anybody. So that's the real sad thing about what this lady was saying, is because I don't think she realized how isolated that Kate is. But aside from staff people and aside from William and the kids, I don't think she has much else. That's just my opinion. I don't think that she has anybody else. I don't think that her family actually sees her regularly. There would have to be an occasion where they would have, for the sake of it, have shown them close, but they just don't do it. It just does not happen. And I believe the reason is because Kate is isolated. So if some horrendous illness has flared up, I think she got it naturally. And that is the perpetual isolation that she enjoys. Susan Whitlock, you say Yellowstone? Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. And let's see. Okay, and Judy Matassa says, I keep saying she's on life support, and they say she died of cancer, and they'll say she died of cancer. Will walks away, a devoted husband, and deranged folks will believe it. And of course, don't forget the last part, and they'll blame the Sussexes. Don't ever forget that. If there's a way, they'll blame the Sussexes. Well, thank you very much, Judy Matasset. If that is indeed true, and we don't know that that's true, but if it is true, this is got to be one of the greatest hoaxes that has ever been perpetuated from that institution. But the more you look at it, the more it screams AI, AI. And I don't want to believe that, because it actually, it makes me feel weird. It makes me feel weird. So, I don't want to believe that, but I don't know what else to think, because if you put everything together, it just comes out looking very, very strange. There's just too. I mean, let's do this one more time. And I'm so sorry. Thank you again, Judy Matas, and I'm so sorry to freak you all out, but it drives home the point.
Time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment.
And this is not a good AI, but that guy that we listened to earlier, he said it is the best possible AI that you can have. And they're using this technology in major motion pictures. And this technology is available to the consumers now. And I'm going to tell you something else. That I noticed. When I watched this video earlier, there was a living, breathing, organic garden behind Meghan, right? Everything was moving and waving, and it looked so natural. But when I looked at this, I saw a couple of bugs fly past. I saw one of the fibers on her jumper, her sweater, waving, but nothing in the background moved. Not a single plant moved. And I studied it, I watched it, and I was waiting. I didn't see anything move. Now that's breathtaking. And then just to Go over it again. As I said, they use biblical references to make Kate appear to be this crucified figure, much like Christ. She even has a halo. And rather than sitting off to one side of the bench, like Meghan appeared in that copycat image that they almost created, here she's at the very center of it, as though she's at the Last Supper, which is also something that they've done before when they have put Kate on display in a very symmetrical setting at the very center of the door, her head listing to starboard. Same thing. So are they above deceiving the public? I'm going to have to say no, they're not above it. See there? Now, Meghan is on a much smaller bench, but she's not sitting at the very center of it. But it is very much a typical setting that the Sussexes have used again and again. And it's a very odd thing for Kate, especially when you consider that being so isolated, she always seems more comfortable indoors and even moreover at home. But here, this is supposed to be Kate at a park, as though she's telling you about the newest pharmaceutical product that you should ask your doctor for. Right? It's all very, very strange. It is very strange. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but I get a weird feeling from it. And I trust my instincts. Let me see. No, her close friend is with Willie. Her close friend is with Willie. You mean, and if you all recall, it was said that she was friendly with Rose, right? And that when allegedly Rose and Will started getting close, and she demanded of William that Rose is phased out of that set, out of that group of friends. And the thing is, Rose is born of aristocratic blood. Kate is the commoner. Catherine Commoner Middleton. Commoner is her middle name. And there was no way that they were going to purge Rose Hanbury from the group. Rose is not expendable. Rose is one of us, so to speak, for that group, not us, but for that group. But Kate, William's friends used to openly mock Kate and her sister. And if you all are new to all of this stuff, the nickname for Kate and Pippa was the Wisteria sisters, because just like the vine, they tend to climb up. That was their nickname, was the Wisteria sisters, because they were considered social climbers, right? They were considered social climbers. So just like a wisteria climbing up a trellis, you had Pippa and Kate in search of rich husbands. And of course, we can't forget those rather awkward images of Kate going to a party with Sir Richard Branson. I cannot not see that one. That was weird. That was weird. Okay. Okay, let me continue here, because I still got a bit to go too, and I'm getting a little bit backed up here. So I will continue. This is also fascinating, though. Very fascinating. Okay, again, Kensington Palace They swore up and down, there's no cancer. There's no cancer. We did the olive branch. We did this. We just listened to her. That's the TMZ lady we just listened to. Pierce Morgan. Okay, so I think I left off here. So again, I'm saying that Pierce Morgan, what's his name? Paul Burrell, they were part of that broadcast of TMZ. And there was something about the TMZ thing that I think set them off. And they had to get control of things because they were too far gone. And remember, they do this with, okay, I think I was done with that part of it. Okay, here. I know what I wanted to share with you guys. Take a look on the left. Look who else was at the Kinsey collection. You see the bottom photo? That's Doria. Yes, that's Doria was there. We didn't know it. You guys, these photos are very slow coming. And I promised you that I would have more photos. I couldn't find anything else. I found the one on the right just before I went on yesterday. But if I find some more, I will share them with you. Okay, back to that nonsense. They forgot to check the timeline. Remember that from what was that? Brewster Place? You forgot to close your blinds last night. I seed you. Sitting there just like a spider. Well, in this case, you forgot to check your timeline. I seed you. Sitting there just like a spider, like a Willie Leaks. I seed you. Okay, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I do apologize, but if you get the reference, it was pretty funny. You forgot to close your blinds last night. I seed you. Okay, they forgot to check the timeline. Kate had surgery on the 17th of January. Thomas Kingston died 27 February. William missed his godfather's memorial the 27th of February. Today, they are saying he missed it because of Kate's diagnosis. You mean to tell us it took you over a month for Kate's biopsy results? It took you over a month to get Kate's biopsy results. And so, the mother of delayed reactions, it took William a month before he collapsed and became inconsolable, and 15 minutes before he was supposed to give that speech. I suppose the doctor's office called or something. But you would think that more responsible people involved would be like, that was your godfather, William. But let us not forget that William didn't go to the godfather's funeral, which was in Greece, in Athens, Greece. He didn't go to that either. And so this is the second time that he has let his Greek cousins down. This is the second time that he let them down. Now you would say, well, that's pretty serious though, because after all, he found out that the biopsy came back as cancerous a month ago. And since he found out a month ago, of course, 15 minutes before the service, he canceled. Yeah, that makes sense. But in between time, when he should have known about the biopsy, William did have the ability to go out with Tom Cruise and tell some jokes and show off his Top Gun slippers and all that stuff. He also had that little funny gaffe at the BAFTA Awards where he was laughing and joking about someone being assaulted on vacation. Yep. I tell you, he is a lesson of contradictions, if nothing else. He laughs when he shouldn't, and when he should, he calls off. Well, that would explain why he needs him, right? That will explain why he suddenly has taken an interest in Tom Cruise. And then, of course, there is the curious case of Thomas Kingston. What do we know? On February the 27th, Buckingham Palace issued an announcement on behalf of Lady Gabriella and the Kingston family that Thomas Kingston had died at the age of 45. How William discovered Kate had cancer before he pulled out of King Constantine of Greece memorial service at St. George Chapel. You see there, they decided, well, we cannot waste that diagnosis. How about we go ahead and say that's why you couldn't go to your godfather's memorial service? Works for me. So again, Kate had that surgery on the 17th. Kensington Palace announced that Middleton underwent a planned abdominal surgery. And from the 17th until the 22nd of March, and somewhere in between, William found out about it and pulled out of the memorial service. And the most shocking thing you know what? We'll get back to that in just a second. Let me see. Anything to say for yourselves? This is what they have been talking about all day in the tabloid media, is that let me see, Kim Kardashian, she still ain't said anything. Blake Lively, she apologized, which I thought was ridiculous. And Andy Cohen, his big offense was saying what thousands of people have said: that ain't Kate. And then, of course, there's John Oliver, who said that Kate is dead. So out of all those people, I could assure you there's one person who will survive a nuclear holocaust. When all the rest of us are gone, right? There's going to be a few people: Cher, Madonna, and Kim Kardashian. Aside from that, there's one person there who cares the least, and that's John Oliver, the man who turned down that trinket. And then take a look here. Omen Scobie deletes tasteless picture of alarm clock for 6 p.m., the exact time Kate released her heartbreaking statement after huge backlash. Well, Omen Scobie had tweeted a picture of a clock just before it turned to 6 p.m. London time, right? And that was his way of saying he's ready for the big announcement. Well, he didn't know they were going to say cancer. So for the sake of good taste, he deleted it. I don't think he should have, but I don't have to do the work that he's doing. Sarah Vine, for once in her life, Kate needs to stop worrying about duty and looking after everyone. Again, the same way I said Kate doesn't have friends. Trust me when I say this, Kate ain't worried about other people. Let me see. Undergoing preventative chemotherapy. Well, we kind of found out that doesn't seem consistent. And then over there, you can see how they're trying to portray the loving relationship William have with Kate and, of course, his mother and all that. Oh, God. Okay, let's get away from that. I'm starting to get physically ill. And then right here, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but check it out. From hugs in pubs to gasp on the street, in the street the moment the world found out about Kate's shock cancer diagnosis as well wishers pour in for the Princess of Wales. Yes. God bless her. Oh, by the way, I just realized I forgot to say hi to the Duchess of Success. I did see you, and I was in the middle of something, but I did see you. So thank you so much for joining us. I am honored by your presence. But do you guys know that the Inquirer had actually, oh, that's not the one right there. Kate wants out. Middleton senior staff haven't seen her. We talked about that. Oh, and the Oscar for Best Actress goes to Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey Schofield. Right here, Instagram blasted for bullying Princess Kate after adding warning to edited image, wildest thing I've ever seen. Now, after Kate's confession, and I just can't, and I'm so sorry that this woman, she was forced to tell people about her diagnosis. She wanted to keep it private. Oh my God. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. She sobbed. She wiped tears. And you can see Meredith says early contender for the Katie Britt Young Actors Award. But seriously, from someone who has made an entire career of lying and degrading another royal woman, this is stomach churning. You guys, it was surreal. It was surreal for someone who has been quite vicious in the most manipulative manner of going after the Sussexes every day, lying about the Sussexes' popularity in Hollywood as if that's a thing. I wouldn't say that the Sussexes are pursuing popularity. They are executive producers. They're not there to walk red carpets. But every day, she has an audience, her constituents on British television, where she makes up stuff. She convinces people that she is so well connected in Hollywood, don't you know, that if there's anything that goes on, she knows about it. But again, her audience is the MAGA people, the Brexit people, and of course, the old monarchists that would believe anything that is anti Meghan, anti Harry. That's who her audience is, and she plays it very well. And she is part of the daily assault on Rachel Meghan Markle. And yet, she sits there and sobs excessively, sobbing about Kate, a public figure that is living off of taxpayers' money, that arrogantly, along with her husband, has decided, I will tell you when I'm ready to tell you, and therefore they want their privacy. The privacy that has never been afforded to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. A privacy that has been very elusive for them because they used to live off of public money. You get what I'm saying? They used to live off of public money. So therefore, they are not entitled. But the person who do live off of public funding, she has a right to her privacy. I mean, yes, she only works 100 engagements a year, and yet the royal family takes in 354 million pounds a year. But she has a right to privacy. The public is paying for the private school that her children go to, but she has a right to privacy. She gets in a helicopter when she chooses, flies on private jets, and she spends more time in her pajamas than Hugh Hefner. Okay? But she has a right to privacy. And so Kinsey Schofield, an American, is on television in the UK sobbing, crying like a rat eating onions because the most protected person in all of the United Kingdom has had to go on the record and admit that she has been treated for cancer. Not that she has cancer, but that she's being treated for cancer. Baron, someone posted this on X. This bench is known as the Queen's Bench in the Rose Garden at Windsor Castle. Even in the spring, the backdrop looks completely different from any image we can find. Really? Really? Okay. Huh. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. See what I mean? This is getting weirder by the moment. Wow. And then right here, and by the way, a lot of this has been made possible by people on Twitter, Instagram. I mean, every place where we fight for our faves. And someone put this together. Why was this necessary? There are 5 different Kate Middletons that we have seen since Christmas. 5 of them. We have Vogue magazine Kate. Of course, Christmas Day Kate. We have the 5-wheel Kate. We have the Garden Center Kate. And then, of course, missing but not forgotten, the head facing the brick wall Kate. And I guess you could say 6 if you include AI Kate. Right? We've had all of these Kate Middletons, and yet, just like the last one compared to the second or third one, we don't even know if it's real. It says right there, the satirical weeknight show is filmed in New York and regularly tops the U.S. late. Wait, did I need that? Talk show ratings not only accessible in the UK. Clips of Princess was shared widely on social media. It is thought unlikely to go down well with Kensington Palace, which has struggled to squash social media speculation in recent days and is not thought to have been given advance warning about the segment. A spokesperson, I forgot which one that was for. What segment? I forgot. Maybe that was Stephen Colbert. I don't know. I don't know why I have that. I forgot. Okay, then over here, of course. I can barely see that one. Okay, there we go. When the option is between transparency and manipulation, 1, King Charles leaves London hospital 3 days after prostate surgery, and that was on the 29th of January. Credible explanation, people move on. Option 2, there is, okay, gosh, that is kind of blurry. Kate Middleton leaves London clinic 10 days after abdominal surgery. That was on the 29th. Kate Middleton, March 4th. That's Big Face Kate. And then Frankenstein Kate, that's March the 10th. And then Home Center Kate. What is that? March the 16th? Claims that lack credibility, questionable claims, outright lies, questionable claim, gave birth to conspiracy theory, which is what that guy said. It's not our fault. It really started with the the Frankenstein photo. World media mock Britain's royals. Foreign news agency boss compares Kensington Palace to North Korea as chat shows and cartoon target monarchy in despicable attacks after its Photoshop PR disaster. Of course, that language comes from the Daily Mail. But again, they asked for it. They asked for it. This is a monster of their own creation. As a matter of fact, isn't it appropriate to use the term Frankenstein photo? Because just like Frankenstein, somebody meticulously pieced together a monster that they cannot control. Losing the American media, whereas they usually get all the cooperation in the world, is what set them into panic. And what made it that much worse was when TMZ aired that "Where is Kate?" That made them crap their pants. B. Martin says, "Has Kate ever been to Wales? Just asking for a friend." Yeah, she's been there. She has been there. Well, with William, I don't know that she's ever gone by herself, but with William, they don't go that often. But yeah, when they went to that one community center where William was joking about elderly black pensioners squeezing his bottom. Oh God, that's disgusting. Um, yeah, that I know on that occasion, and I'm trying to think if there was another occasion, but it's not that frequent. Celebici actually pointed out that Kate Middleton rarely travels more than 15 miles away from Adelaide Cottage. I remember they said that some time ago. It is very rare that Kate ever travels more than 15 miles outside of Adelaide Cottage, which, of course, when the Queen died, going to Balmoral, that would have exceeded that 15-mile mark. Just saying. But, William didn't want her to go. That was what that was about. Thank you again, B. Martin. Okay. Oh, that's not for me. I'm sorry. I don't think most people in the U.S. even know who Kenzie Schofield is. She's been trying to make it in Hollywood for a long time. Especially, I think for her dream job would have probably have been Entertainment Tonight or something like that. And I think she's had like some very minor things. She's like one of those people that would do like some very generic red carpet work or modeling for some product. You know how they do those product rollouts and they give them the matching polo shirts or t-shirts. I think that's pretty much what she's done. But she has a certain gift for acting. We've just found that out, that she is a very capable actress. Will's jealousy shows in those videos. It's disturbing. Yeah, it is. And the thing is, a lot of people who have claimed to have worked in, say, child psychology and such, and I'm talking about squatties that I've listened to on social media, they say that when they look at those videos, the worst I've heard is he appears to be a sociopath. That was about the worst. But again, you can't really judge someone as a professional if you have not spent time with them in person. So it's not really fair to observe someone from a distance. But as most of us have seen those videos, I'm willing to say if your gut says something's not right, something's not right. Something's not right. As humans, we do recognize when something is a bit off. as human beings, I think we all recognize when something is just a little bit off. Does that make a person criminally insane, a sociopath, a control freak, a narcissist? Recollections may vary. So Henry VIII says her husband let her take the fall for a poorly manipulated photo. The press was producing stories about a woman William allegedly had an affair with. Her sister on a tropical vacation. None of her family visited her in the hospital, and I'm supposed to feel bad. Henry VIII, one of our favorite squatties. Well, that says a lot right there. That says a lot right there. I mean, in just a few sentences, Henry VIII boiled it down to exactly why we are entitled to our feelings. Because they're asking people, what they're trying to do is the same thing they did when Philip died. They're trying to get people worked up into a frenzy of grief and despair. And when the Queen died, same thing. They were trying to get people all worked up. And it just didn't work. I mean, there were a few monarchists that were in line weeping about the Queen, and I've known her my whole life. And probably 3 days after the funeral, who? Elizabeth II. Who? Lizzie, Elizabeth II. Who? The best way for people to know who you're talking about when you reference Queen Elizabeth II, you have to do the 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. When you do that speech, then they know who you're talking about, because that speech, every time they do a documentary, they have to play the 1992 speech, or they have to play that speech. What was it, from Kenya, when she promised, be it long or be it short, I am going to devote my life to our imperial family, not family, family. Both speeches, I'll just say it, both speeches were major eye rollers. I mean, either speech, I roll my eyes. 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. Because your castle burned down and you didn't have insurance? Yeah, I would cry too. That was when people found out that they didn't even have insurance for Windsor Castle. It burned down, and who fixed it? The taxpayers. Okay. This is what I wanted to share with you. Dr. Jonathan Renner, CNN. Most of y'all have probably heard this, but I'm going to play it anyway. And this is the doctor that seems to find that there is some anomalies in the whole Kate surgery cancer thing. So let me play that for you. Okay. The sound quality is not great, but we'll make it do what it do.
Or not will dictate the extent of the actual operation. So it's very likely that...
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to start it at the beginning. Okay. One more time.
That's what they're doing now.
So Dr. Ryan, pardon my ignorance on this. If somebody has surgery, and then the cancer is discovered after that surgery, is it because tissue from whatever the area of the surgery, in this case the abdomen, would be taken out and tested, or is it possible that it would be cancer somewhere else in the body that would somehow show up in a blood test or something?
Well, with all respect to the royal family, that kind of press release doesn't make a lot of medical sense. When people undergo extensive surgery, they just don't go in for typically anymore for quote exploratory surgery. All of these operations are preceded by extensive imaging like CAT scans and MRIs. So the surgical team would have a very good understanding of what was likely to be the problem, and that would be confirmed by pathology. So a piece of the tissue removed, whatever the organ is, or the organ removed, or intestine, for instance, that goes directly to the pathology lab, often during the surgery. And sometimes whether something is cancer or not will dictate the extent of the actual operation. So it's very likely that the surgical team knew or had a good sense of what this was going to be prior to surgery, and that was confirmed at the time of pathologic testing during the operation. So this is something that would have at least been suspected before and confirmed during the operation.
Wow. Wow. How about that? How about that? You see what I'm saying? Because people in the American media are not likely to just play along. Well, at least not as often as they would like, and probably not in the way that they like. Now, see, this is what I was talking about when I was saying at the time when we were wondering if Kate was even in the hospital, did she really have surgery or did she like have a mental break or whatever? If she was not there, or if they were deceiving us as to the actual purpose of being there, I would have been, and I would still be very crushed to realize that people in the medical community would allow a pretense using the name of the hospital as a backdrop for whatever cover story that they're trying to perpetuate. So, still, I'm not sure, but the same as I don't want to ever see people involve their children in a Frankenstein photo, because that would be a lie. That would be deceptive. And I don't think you should use kids in something like that. Well, the same way I feel about the medical community. I have a great deal of respect for people in medical sciences and such. And I just don't want to believe that they would, at least I don't ever want to see a day where they would do something like that, or even pretend or allow their name to be used improperly. I think that that's something that should never, ever happen, right? And we've seen cases like that in the U.S. where, especially during the time when people were dying from AIDS and they were very embarrassed, or the family was embarrassed, and they were pressuring doctors to contrive some other kind of thing. But reading between the lines, you know what they were avoiding. And that's a terrible way to put, a terrible place to put a doctor or a nurse or anybody else. So, keep your lies in the palace. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I just hope not. I hope not. I think certain things should be sacred. Certain things should be sacred. Okay. Oh, yes, the rabbit gate. The rabbit gate. It was so bad, we have to give it a gate. Okay, so that is the doctor right there. That's Dr. Reiner. Is it Reiner? That's him in the lower left corner there. But I want to show you this. February 5th, 2024. Wait, yeah, 2024. They actually predicted that it was cancer in the Inquirer. They said it was cancer before just about any. I think they were the first publication. I'm sure it wasn't the first time anyone had the notion that it was cancer, but they put it out there before Kate's confession. So, terrifying diagnosis. What happens next? William sick with fear. Okay, there they go, making up stuff again. There they go making up stuff again. And why did they use that Adams family reunion photo of William and the kids? I mean, they found the worst photo that they could use. Oh, well, let me continue here. And the palace lied to you that nothing was wrong, and then they went and blamed a woman with cancer for their own Photoshop error. And now they want the internet to feel bad. It ran wild with speculation over an error and scandal that the palace themselves caused. No. And also, don't forget, we want privacy. We want privacy. Remember that? We want privacy. We want privacy. And there they are, just like those characters that were supposed to be Harry and Meghan. It's so ironic that now they want privacy. It's so ironic that now they are being bullied. Let them tell it. And then over here, okay, I did that one already. And then that one, as a journalist, I try to find answers to questions rather than merely ask them. And of course, he's responding to Christopher Boozy. Maybe asking legitimate questions in the UK is considered disturbing, but here in America, we are not sheep. If the palace and British press had handled this situation, or hadn't handled this situation so poorly, people like me would such and such and such. And then, of course, this person continues. You mean the royal stenographers? Okay. I love that. The royal stenographers, because all they do is take dictations from the palace. That's all they do is take dictations from the palace, and they tell the story as they want it to be told. And that is why I am more inclined to believe anything that they say about them in the tabloids, if it's good or bad, because they are actually taking their cues, taking their information directly from either palace. The only time they're in conflict is when it's something to do with Will and Kate versus Charles and Camilla, because sometimes they do go at each other. And then, of course, there is Happy Birthday, HRH Prince of Wales. Well, remember, the son gave Charles a birthday cake one year. And Charles and Camilla, they are very close to the son, but also they are very close to the Daily Mail, as they have hired from both newspapers in the past and present. And of course, every time they go after Harry and Meghan, they fail to mention that Harry has entered litigation against them. They don't ever mention that. And of course, really, if you're a newspaper or news organization acting in good faith, you are supposed to tell the public that there may be a conflict because of, you're in court with the person or the subject that you're talking about, but instead they just ignore it. And I guess because they do it so often, it would be rather redundant if they kept saying it. And of course, that's why they don't want to say it, because they don't want to remind people of how unjust this daily attack against Harry and Meghan has been. So they don't even want to mention it, not even once in a while. They ignore it. What's that? Oh, okay. Let me see. That's going on. I mean, what's going on? Why are they telling? Okay. All right. I'm just looking at a couple of your comments here. Okay. Yeah, there's been a constant jealousy. Constant jealousy. Harry does everything better. Harry can run faster, jump higher, and argue the best case. That's why we call him light skinned Harry, because as African Americans here in the US, our key to survival is that we've always had to run faster, jump higher, and argue the best case. And still, we may not get the promotion. Still, they may not let us live in this neighborhood or that neighborhood. Doesn't matter how professional you are, how rich you are, as long as they know that you have that African blood coursing through your veins, it's just like as natural as taking a breath. There's some people that are just going to be racist and discriminate against you just because. And I think that's how it is with the royal family, because they think everything is done according to superior breeding. And because so many of those people in the royal family are actually cousins, first, second, and third cousins, they feel as though they are playing with the best hand. But you know what happens when cousins marry, don't you? I'll tell you what happens. I'll tell you. Let me see here. Oh, Lord, I took that photo away. It was my favorite too. I was gonna say hands like catcher's mitts, childbearing hips, ears like satellite dishes, um, a mug that looked like an old saddlebag. All of those things are what happen when cousins marry. I got to get my old photo back. That's what happens when cousins marry. And Prince Harry calls bugged by Murdoch papers, lawyers say. Remember, Harry is asking the court, I believe, if I'm right, he's asking the court to look into evidence that he has been traumatized because he has been under surveillance and bugged and everything else since he was, what, 8, 9 years old? He wants them to go all the way back. Remember, he has access to the papers, the Murdoch papers. And a lot of what's happening with them right now is because of the Murdoch papers. And somehow the whole thing with Kate sitting on that bench and all that, the son, the one buying that video or providing that video, has a lot to do with Murdoch, because Murdoch is not going down by himself, right? None of those newspaper people, none of those people that own these tabloids, they're not going to go down by themselves. Ever since Charles and Camilla crawled into bed with them, they have taken a partial ownership of that institution. And they're co-equals, if you ask me. They're co-equals, just like the House of Lords and the House of Parliament, or whatever, House of Lords and Commons, just like the United States Congress and Senate, they're co-equals. Can't have one without the other. So you take a 1,000-year-old institution and you allow it to become hijacked by the tabloid media. But once you invite the devil in, it's hard to get him out. Lizzie 34, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Good Lord, it's going on 3 hours, you guys. I just realized I've been on for almost 3 hours. So, there, of course, was this thing where Richard Eaton, on that whatever show, he started flapping his mouth saying, I'd like to go back and take a look at some of those Sussex photos. And when he said that, I didn't give it much thought, because you know that I know and everybody else knows that Harry and Meghan, they do what William and Kate should have been doing from the very start. They call in professionals. The only photos, the only videos that we've ever seen that were, shall we say, handmade, personal, whatever, is what they shared in the docuseries. That's it. But their home pictures, photos, and such, they send out for those photos. They don't do it themselves. And now, seeing how things have turned out, we can see how brilliant that is, because they don't have to answer for that stuff. And since they didn't have to answer for it, the next best thing is to go after Misan Harriman, one of the most celebrated photographers in recent times. Just go after him. And not just Misan, Chris Allerton, who's taken beautiful photos of the Sussexes, attack him too. Fortunately, I don't think they were able to do much damage because they were able to rebuke all of that stuff very fast. But the point is, they tried. They tried. They tried to destroy their professional reputations merely because of their association with the Sussexes, and hoping that someone in the social media would grab hold to it and make a big deal out of it. But there's no there there. They even went as far as to, Prince Archie's christening photo correction issued after agency said Snap was edited. Somebody went and tried to they did get Misan's photo and Chris Allerton's photos flagged as being, altered or whatever, unreliable. But fortunately, we were able to straighten that out really fast. But the point is, they tried. They tried. And there's that tree, by the way. There's that tree that they accused Misan Harriman of adding to the photo. You know, the photo looks so perfect, doesn't it? I mean, look at the symbolism. You have a Garden of Eden. You have Harry and Meghan, and Meghan's with child. And such is the tree of life growing strong behind them, giving them shelter and protection from the sun. What better symbolism is there? They don't have shoes on. It's picture perfect. And yet they tried to degrade it by accusing Misan Harriman of orchestrating something like this. No, that's how the Sussexes live. That's their everyday splendor. And thank goodness they're so far away from that green room. You know, thank goodness they're far away from that. And now they got peace of mind. And then, of course, I talked about Victoria Newton. I'm not going to go into her again, but there she is on TV feverishly trying to save Will and Kate from themselves. This is the woman who signed off, the editor who signed off on the Jeremy Clarkson article. And then there on the right, William's alleged mistress, Rose Hanbury, divorcing husband after possible discovery made about her daughter. Now that's from Marca, which is from Spain, I think, or is it Italy? I don't know if that story is true. It's all alleged, but that seems to be the root of William's attacks on Harry. Besides jealousy, they sacrificed the Sussexes so that the tabloids would have something to write about and just leave us alone. And by the way, thank you for the $1 million payout, signed Willie Leaks. But this is the other thing that bothered them. The salon on the left and the Huffington Post on the right. In both cases, Meghan isn't responsible for the Kate Middleton scandal, and she shouldn't have to be. And on the right, people are contrasting media coverage of Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle because so many people were pointing out the inconsistencies and also even defending Meghan, asking, why are you making this comparison? Why are you trying to go after them? It was all too much for the palace. And that's how we got AI Kate, if it is AI. Sheer panic. That's what it is, sheer panic. This photo is out of order. We already talked about that. Oh, you know why I brought that up? Okay, here goes. I know what I did here. Or did I? Maybe I know, maybe I don't know. I would be impressing myself if I thought I knew. But Thomas Kingston's dead. Royal death shock. William pulls out of engagement for personal reasons. Prince makes last minute decision. Will's no-show mystery. Right. So this is what I was on to. William was very close to his godfather and is very strange that, okay. The media made a big deal out of the fact that William wasn't there. It wasn't the squatties. It certainly wasn't the derangers. And most people, nobody cared. We wasn't thinking about that. Prince William pulls out a godfather. We didn't think about that, right? But yet, there's Richard Palmer. Curious, Prince William has pulled out of attending a memorial service at St. George's Chapel, Windsor, today for King Constantine of Greece, citing a personal matter. William called the family to apologize. It's understood that the Princess of Wales is doing well in her recovery. See, nothing to do with Kate. And then there's this. Listen. No one would have given this Thomas Kingston serious lament, but the royal rota immediately saying Prince William had nothing to do with his death. Well, of course, now we're looking at it. Richard Eden, Kate Manzi, Rebecca English, Roy Anika, all of them are saying, contrary to speculation online, Prince William's absence from today's memorial service for the King Constantine of Greece was not because of the tragic death on Sunday of Tom Kingston. Okay, but we didn't ask you. Kate Manzi, it is important to note that this is not believed to be the reason why William pulled out of today's memorial service. Okay, but we didn't ask you. Rebecca English, it's worth noting. Do you see a trend? It's worth noting it's not been confirmed that the Prince of Wales' absence from the memorial for King Constantine today for a personal matter was not connected to the news of Mr. Kingston's death. All right, but I didn't ask you. Okay, come on, Roy Anika, you're up. Royal source says the death of Mr. Kingston is not connected to Prince William's absence from King Constantine's memorial service today. Last time, we did not ask you. But since you all pointed it out, you and the rest of your colleagues, now we have to wonder, did William kill Tom Kingston? Now I'm wondering. Did William put on his black turtleneck, black cargo pants, and tactical boots, and and what else? A beanie, a black beanie, and all that. Did he bring rope and a blue tarp, lime, a pickaxe and a shovel, a lantern? Now I'm wondering all that stuff, but before I was oblivious. I wasn't thinking about it. But now that they mentioned it, now I'm curious. Where was he? Why did he pull out? Ah, and then that happened. This has been a really, really bad couple of months for the royal family. Really bad. And Amanda Playtell, don't lecture us about Gaza, William. Just tell us where Kate is. Make peace with your brother, says as Israeli shrugs off Prince William's ceasefire plea. Yeah, don't tell us to make peace. You go make peace with your brother. And then there is Nana. Racially discriminating against white people is wrong. Skin color is no measure of ability. Read my latest column, Mail Online. What about your thoughts? Okay. The woman who obviously was hired because she's black, allegedly, because they needed somebody black that would toe the party line, is against, I suppose, affirmative action. The same woman who wrote this self-hating article about the what you call it, the what is that to call this a celebration of black culture is an insult. I forgot what they call it. Do they call it? I forgot what they call that event. But every year they have that big celebration in the UK, which is about black culture, about the Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean, and I think African culture. And anyway, so as you all know, last year there was someone who did, what do they call it, blackfishing or whatever, where this black woman writer allowed her name to be used on an article that was written by an old white man about the behavior of black people at a mostly ethnic black event, right? And people started wondering, did Nana do the same thing? We don't know. But she seems to be there to be a safe landing for white people and give them a chance to say things in mixed company that they otherwise would not say. And lastly, Pippa. And I promise you, I'm done now. This is what Pippa was doing while Kate was going through her diagnosis and everything. We should all be worried because we are not on the beach with a bathing suit bunched up in our behinds with a non-existent bum that fascinated the entirety of Western civilization for all of 3 minutes. Yes, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And with that, I am done. Thank you all very much. Thank you to the Mod Squad. And as always, whenever you see our queens, it is time to go. And you know what I mean. No, not that queen. Not that queen either. Okay. Oh, real queens. There you go. There you go. Not the pulled pork queen. Not the queen of pegging. Okay. And love you guys. I will see you all next time. And also thank you all for your very generous and thoughtful contributions. And I think Miss V is going to be on tomorrow. Now, Miss V is only on once a week. So make sure, let me see if I can find the link. Didn't I see the link, or was she on today? Was she on today? Anyway, I'll put it in the community tab if I see it, okay? I'll put it in the community tab. Promise. Yes, gatekeeper. How aptly put, a gatekeeper. Somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to do it, and she's just the one. Oh well. So you guys, remember, we're all entitled to our opinions, but only we're not always entitled to the truth, right? The truth is the truth. But we are entitled to our opinions, but nobody is solely entitled to the truth. Okay? And with that, love you guys. Good night. And let's end with Once Upon a Time. And let's get that non-existent bum off the screen. Yuck. Ugh. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot the last word of the day. Everyone stay safe, pray, don't peg, and hydrate. There we go. Almost forgot. You know, I just realized you couldn't see that, but that's okay. I'll do it again tomorrow. Okay. Good night, you all. Or good morning.